Marriage is built on trust, love, and communication. At least, that's what I believed. When I married Scarlett, I thought we were on the same page about everything: our future, our values, and most importantly, our loyalty to one another. But one night shattered everything I thought I knew about her and about us. It all started innocently enough. Scarlett had been talking a lot about spicing things up. At first, I thought she meant date nights or maybe a weekend getaway. But then she dropped the bomb: she wanted us to explore the swingers lifestyle. I was floored. This wasn't something I'd ever considered or wanted. I was clear about my boundaries. "Scarlett, I love you, but I don't think I could ever be okay with something like that," I said. She seemed disappointed but eventually dropped the subject, or so I thought. A few weeks later, Scarlett started going out more. She'd mentioned meeting up with friends or attending networking events. I didn't think much of it at first. After all, she deserved her own social life. But something didn't sit right. She'd come home late, sometimes tipsy, and her stories didn't always add up. One night, I noticed a change in her behavior. She was unusually distant, always on her phone, texting someone with a sly smile. When I asked who it was, she brushed it off as just a friend. My gut told me otherwise, but I didn't want to accuse her without proof. The truth came out one Friday evening. Scarlett casually mentioned that she was going to a party with her friends. I didn't think much of it until I overheard her on the phone, whispering details about the event. "Yeah, it's at that place. Lots of new people this time," she said. Curious, I looked up the address she mentioned. It wasn't just any party, it was a swingers party. My heart sank. She was going against my wishes, knowing full well how I felt about this. When she left that night, I couldn't sit still. A mix of anger and betrayal boiled inside me. I called a close friend for advice, and his words stuck with me: "If she's willing to cross that line, you need to know the truth." I couldn't let it slide. I drove to the venue, parking a few blocks away to avoid being seen. The scene inside was surreal. People mingling, drinking, and flirting without a care in the world. And then I saw her. Scarlett was talking to a man I didn't recognize, her body language telling me everything I needed to know. Minutes later, they disappeared into one of the private rooms. My heart shattered. I wanted to storm in, confront her, but I held back. I needed to handle this differently. I went home and started planning. I knew this wasn't just about the betrayal, it was about reclaiming my dignity. When Scarlett returned home in the early hours, I pretended to be asleep. The next morning, I acted as if nothing was wrong. Over the next few days, I gathered evidence, screenshots of her messages, photos from the party, and even testimonials from people who knew what was going on. I contacted a top divorce lawyer, determined to protect myself from any fallout. A week later, I confronted Scarlett. I laid out everything I knew, from the party to her actions. She tried to deny it at first, but when I showed her the proof, she broke down. It didn't mean anything. "I just wanted to feel alive," she cried. Her excuses only fueled my anger. "You betrayed me, Scarlett. You made your choice, and now you'll live with the consequences." That same day, I packed her belongings. When she returned from work, she found her clothes and personal items scattered on the front lawn. I stood there, waiting, as neighbors peeked through their windows. "Get out," I said coldly. "You don't live here anymore." She begged, pleaded, but I didn't budge. I filed for divorce the next morning. My lawyer, one of the best in town, made sure I was protected. Scarlett left with nothing, not even the house she thought she'd get. Word spread quickly. Friends and family reached out, some offering support, others expressing shock at Scarlett's actions. She tried to salvage her reputation, but the evidence was irrefutable. Months later, the divorce was finalized. I walked away with everything: my dignity, my freedom, and a fresh start. Scarlett, on the other hand, was left to pick up the pieces of her broken life. Looking back, I'm grateful for what happened. It showed me who Scarlett truly was and gave me the strength to stand up for myself. Betrayal is painful, but it also teaches you resilience. Now, I'm focused on rebuilding my life, surrounded by people who value honesty and loyalty. And as for Scarlett, I can only hope she learned from her mistakes.
Thank you for watching the story until the end. If this story made you think or feel something, support the channel by liking the video and subscribing. Share the video with your family, with your friend. More stories are coming. Take care and I will see you in the next one.